Hi guys, this is Allison from Allykatkreations. How are you? Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you get anything from my work, a connect the dot, an epiphany, a mind-blown moment, a new book to read, a new author to explore, please support my channel. All the links are at the bottom of the description. And thank you to everybody who subscribed, who likes, and who supports me. I really appreciate it. I am sporting my new We Not Me hat. Allison Allykat211. I got it personalized. Had a very interesting day before I start the today's section. So my car is 13 going on 14 years old. It doesn't have much mileage on it. I didn't really take it too many places. So the last couple of days, every time I have to run out to the store or go to the supermarket, I have to jump my car. This is something that has repeated in New York. Which I thought I got fixed. The car was running fine all winter, and up until now, it's starting again. So I take it to the shop this morning. Just everything here is like a pit stop oil change place. They don't got that in New York. I wish they did. But they had told me, the guy's like, listen, your oil change, it says the date is due. You got a lot. Don't worry about we're not doing an oil change on your car. You don't need it right now. And the battery checked out fine, and so did my alternator. They did a test. So when I told him my conundrum, he's like, you might have to go look at an alarm place or like the sound place to see if there's a wire connected from your alarm to your car that is not grounded right and is draining your battery. That's probably why you have to jump it. And he gave me some other suggestions. So while I was out, I had to mail some stuff to in the post office, and then I went to the mall. I only went to this mall once. Not like the malls in New York. They're gorgeous in New York. This one's a little shady, but it's still cute. And I was walking around and conversating with some cute little ladies, and I got my We Not Me Alley Cat hat. Fun times, because it is really We Not Me. So I love to support my friends in their ventures. And because I have nowhere to put these beautiful pieces of epoxy resins, one of my, I started another heart and I was done. And when I took it out of the mold, like a part of it wasn't completely cased in. I get that a lot with the gems and with flowers a lot. There are times that you get like pit holes. Like I have one here where the epoxy doesn't fill in. And the heart that I worked on and made different from this one, but really pretty, got messed up. I'm trying to fix it. But I'm making a lot more of those, and I always continue to make. So I don't have can't put my thingy up, so I have to read it in my lap. I hope you're okay with that. We don't have that many choices here until I can find a safe spot for all of these beautiful creations I make. Paper 54. Problems of the Lucifer Rebellion. And like the last one that I did my new and improved insights on, I'm gonna have to change the angle over here of the chair so I can get the light. I still stand by my perception. Again, my perception might not be your perception, and that is okay. So please take that into account. When I'm making my commentary and stuff, you're not all going to resonate with it, and I'm not asking you to. And I'm sure I'm gonna have some commentary here, possibly. Problems with the Lucifer Rebellion. Evolutionary man finds it difficult fully to comprehend the significance and to grasp the meaning of evil, error, sin, and inequity. Man is slow to perceive that contrastive perfection and imperfection produce potential evil, that conflicting truth and falsehood create confusing error, that and righteousness, that the persistent pursuit of divinity leads to the kingdom of God as contrasted with its continuous rejection, which leads to the dominions of inequity. The gods neither created evil nor permitted sin and rebellion. Potential evil is time existent in a universe embracing differential levels of perfection, meanings, and values. Sin is potential in all realms where imperfect beings are endowed with the ability to choose between good and evil. The very conflicting presence of truth and untruth, fact and falsehood, constitutes the potentiality of error. The deliberate choice of evil constitutes sin. The willful rejection of truth is error. The persistent pursuit of sin and error is inequity. I can't get myself comfy without my desk key. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to make this easy. True and false liberty. Of all the perplexing problems growing out of the Lucifer Rebellion, none has occasioned more difficulty than the failure of immature evolutionary mortals to distinguish between true and false liberty. True liberty is the quest of the ages and the regard of evolutionary progress. False liberty is the subtle deception of the era of time and the evil of space. Enduring liberty is predicted on the reality of justice, intelligence, maturity, fraternity, and equality. And equity, sorry. Liberty is a self-destroying technique of cosmic existence when its emotion is unintelligent, unconditioned, and uncontrolled. True liberty is progressively related to reality and is ever regardful of social equity, cosmic fairness, universe, fraternity, and divine obligations. Liberty is suicidal when divorced from material justice, intellectual fairness, social forbearance, moral duty, and spiritual values. Liberty is non-existent apart from cosmic reality, and all personality reality is proportional to its divinity relationships. Unbridled self-will and unregulated self-expression equal unintimidated selfishness, the acum of ungodliness. Liberty without the associated and ever-increasing quest of self is a figment of egotistic, mortal imagination. Most motivated liberty is a conceptual illusion, a cruel deception. License masquerading in the garments of liberty is the forerunner of abject bondage. True liberty is associated of genuine self-respect. False liberty is the consort of self-admiration. True liberty is the fruit of self-control. false liberty, the assumption of self-assertion. Self-control leads to altruistic service. Self-admiration tends towards the exploration of others for the selfish aggrandizement of such a mistaken individual as is willing to sacrifice righteous attainment for the sake of possessing unjust power over his fellow beings. Even wisdom is divine and safe only when it is cosmic in scope and spiritual in motivation. There is no error greater than the species of self-deception, which leads intelligent beings to crave the exercise of power over other beings for the purpose of depriving these persons of their natural liberties. The golden rule of human fairness cries out against all such fraud, unfairness, selfishness, and unrighteousness. Only true Sorry, guys. Only true and genuine liberty is comparable with the reign of love and the ministry of mercy. How dare this self-willed creature encroach upon the rights of his fellows in the name of personal liberty when the supreme rulers of the universe stand back in merciful respect for those prerogatives of will and potentials of personality? No being in exercise of his proposed personal liberty has a right to deprive any other being of those privileges of existence conferred by the creators and duly respected by all their loyal associates, subordinates, and subjects. Evolutionary man may have to contend for his material liberties with tyrants and oppressors on a world of sin and inequity, or during the early times of a primitive evolving sphere, but not so on the Urantia worlds or on the spirit spheres. War is the heritage of early evolutionary man, but on worlds of normal advancing civilization, physical combat as a technique of adjusting racial understandings has long since fallen into disrepute. What's happening right now? That whole first section just spoke about have a hair. What's going on our paradigm right now? Totally is. Now, the theft of liberty. With the sun and in the spirit of de God project eternal Harvona, and even since has there obtained the eternal pattern of coordinate participation in creation, sharing. This pattern of sharing is the master design for every one of the sons and daughters of God who go out into space to engage in the attempt to duplicate in time and central universe of eternal perfection. Every creature of every evolving universe who aspires to do the Father's will is destined to become the partner of the time-space creators in this magnificent adventure of experimental perfection attainment. Were this not true, the Father would have hardly endowed such creatures with creative free will. Neither would he indwell them, actually go into partnership with them by means of his own spirit. Lucifer's folly was the attempt to do the non-doable, to short-circuit time in an experimental universe. Short-circuit time. That's happening, but it's not happening because of Lucifer. It's not happening because of Lucifer. Again, I urge people to watch my last spiritual soul advice. I go a little bit into my medium reading. I don't go into full, I don't say so much about my medium reading because it's personal, and also because I am not here to say everything that I am. But I can shed something that might resonate with some people. This is true, not in terms that Lucifer did it. It's the beings that hijacked Lucifer's name who are distorting time. For if the archangels are working on me and I am also one incarnate, they all have to work through me, even the ones that we deem necessarily bad. And I'm not corrupted. I walk a straight and narrow path of love and light. But you got to know of your other selves. You got to know of the dark in order to emerge into the light. So having other beings that might not be positive working with me, they're not hurting or harming me. They're showing me different aspects of things. And I feel like the judgment that is made, and it doesn't necessarily need to be of Lucifer, but of anything that we deem to be evil masquerading in this world, we have to look and understand it's also a part of God. It's a part of this experiment. It's a part of to wake us up. It's not easy. But here we are. Lucifer's crime was the attempted creative disenfranchisement of every personality is Satania, the unrecognized abridgment of the creature's personal participation, free will participation in the long evolutionary struggle to obtain the status of light and life, both individually and collectively. In doing so, this over time and one-time sovereign of your system set the temporal purpose of his own will directly athwart with the eternal purpose of God's will as it is revealed in the bestowal of the free will upon all personal creatures. The Lucifer Rebellion thus threatened the maximum possible infringement of the free will choice of the ascenders and servers of the system of Satania, a threat forevermore to deprive every one of these beings of the thrilling experience of contributing something personal and unique to the slow erecting monument to experimental wisdom, which will sometime exist as the perfected system of Satania. This does the Lucifer Manifesto, masquerading in the habitualments of liberty, stand forth in the clear light of reason as a monumental threat to consummate the theft or personal library, and to do it on a scale that has been approached only twice in the history of Nebadon. In short, that God had given men and angels Lucifer would have taken away from them. That is a divine privilege of participating in the creation of their own destinies and of the destiny of this local system of inhabited worlds. No being in all the universe has the rightful liberty to deprive any other being of true liberty, the right to love and be loved, the privilege of worshiping God and the serving of his fellows. Okay, I agree. But there's a catch. Is it an illusion that it's a theft? I think it is. I agree. We're seeing it now, where people are complacently brainwashed into watching the CIA box, watching mind-numbing shows and programming, because it's channeling information to you, programming you. And you live in a world where CNN, and it's not just them, there's a whole plethora of things, and this has been since television was in its workings. You have shows that dictate to you how to feel, how to think. You don't do anything. It tells you how to do it. How much fear was created by all the news media coming together, and they all had the same song to sing. And I'm saying this lightly, but not because I'm not going in depth. Those of you who know what I'm into and what I research, there are a lot of people who are just waking up or who are on the opposite side of the spectrum and they're listening to this book. So I don't want to go too either way. So just put that in mind. But you got to understand, this is here now. We're being steered, but not everybody is, because more people are waking up and critically thinking for themselves. More people are really thinking and looking objectively instead of with their, oh my gosh, did anybody take a look at the pictures of the people representing the country? Did you go on IMDb and see who's an actor or who isn't? Because I bet you if you go look and you type in some names, you're going to be very heavily surprised that they're not who they portray themselves are. They're playing roles, literally playing acting roles. So I agree with this, but at the same time, it's not just one particular person, entity, deity, whatever you want to call Lucifer. It's not him specifically. It's a whole cast of characters who are pulling the puppet strings. They're using Lucifer's name as a buyout, as an excuse for what everything just was spoken about. It's multiple beings doing it, not just we blame it on the one person who started it. He didn't necessarily start it. His name is a scapegoat. And just that's my opinion. But I agree with a lot of this. We are in that time. The time lag of justice. The moral will creatures of the evolutionary worlds are always bothered with the unthinking question as to why the all-wise creator permitted evil and sin. They fail to comprehend that both are inevitable if the creature is to be truly free. The free will of evolving man or exquisite angel is not a mere philosophic concept, a symbolic ideal. Man's ability to choose good or evil is a universal reality. This liberty to choose for oneself is an endowment of the supreme rulers, and they will not permit any being or group of beings to deprive a single personality in the wide universe of this divinely bestowed liberty, not even to satisfy such misguided and ignorant beings into the enjoyment of this misnamed personal liberty. Although conscious and wholehearted identification with evil, sin, is the equivalent of non-existence, annihilation, there must always intervene between the time of such personal identification with sin and the execution of the penalty. The automatic result of such a willful embrace of evil, a period of time of sufficient length to allow for such an adjustment, an adjudication of such an individual's universe status as will prove entirely satisfactory to all related universal personalities, and which will be so far and just as to win the approval of sinner himself. But if this universe rebel against the reality of truth and goodness, refuses to approve the verdict, and if the guilty ones in his heart, the justice of his condemnation, but refuses to make such confession, then must the execution of the sentence be delayed in accordance with the discretion of the Ancients of Days, and the Ancients of Days refuse to annihilate any being until all moral values and spiritual realities are extinct, but with both in the evildoer and all related supporters and possible sympathizers. That's the twist of fate. We chose this existence to have good and evil because without evil, you wouldn't know of good. Without good, you wouldn't know without evil. You need to have both experiences, both sides of the coin. You, I, and everybody, in my opinion, when we are incarnated a phenomenal amount of times. We were rich, we were poor, we were black, we were white. We were the evil murderer, axe murderer. We were the one that was the victim at war. We played all roles. So you in this consciousness, in this time and now, get to choose. All lives you kind of get to choose, but sometimes when you go to war, are you taking another life, and is that validation to do so? As we've all been learning, most of the wars were done in the name of a false flag, in the name of greed, in the name of, look here, we're doing all this behind the scenes. And not even the soldiers even understood what they were going into war for. War equates to money. Money equates to a larger part, in extension, greed. Not all of it is, but if we're going off of what was just said, we signed up for this, and it is your choice to make a conscious effort every day to be a good human being or a bad one. And even when you do bad deeds, you've contracted to do certain things to wake other people up. These negative entities that we deem negative, that have done some very heinous, disgusting things, if they weren't here, we wouldn't be awake. They're playing a role on a soul level. You can hate them, curse them, and wish them death. But they were here to wake you up, and we have to remember that at the whole heart of it all. They did those things to wake us up. And this time the ones who are not meant to sleep, woke up. And we're fighting back now. The mercy of time lag. Another problem, somewhat difficult of explanation, in the constellation of Nyarlathotep, pertains to the reasons of permitting Lucifer, Satan, and the fallen princes to work mischief so long before being apprehended, interned, and adjudicated. Parents, those who have born and reared children, are better able to understand why Michael, a creator father, might be slow to condemn and destroy his own sons. Jesus' story of the prodigal son will illustrate how a loving father can long wait for the repentance of an erring child. The very fact that an evil-doing creature can actually choose to do wrong, commit sin, establishes the fact of free willness, and fully justifies any length delay in the execution of justice, provided the extended mercy might conduce to repentance and rehabilitation. Most of the liberties which Lucifer sought he already had. Others he was to receive in the future. All these precious endowments were lost by giving away to impatience and yielding to a desire to possess what one craves now, and to possess it in defiance of all obligation to respect the rights and liberties of all other beings composing the universe of universes. Ethical obligations are innate, divine, and universal. There are many reasons known to us why the supreme rulers did not immediately destroy or intern the leaders of the Lucifer Rebellion. There are no doubt still other and possibly better reasons unknown to us. The mercy features of this delay is in the execution of justice were extended personally by Michael of Nebadon. Except for the affection of the Creator Father for his erring sons, the supreme justice of the super universe would have acted. If such an episode as the Lucifer Rebellion had occurred in Nebadon while Michael was incarnated on Urantia, the instigators of such evil might have been instantly and absolutely annihilated. Supreme justice can instantly, when not restrained by divine mercy, but the ministry of mercy to the children of time and space always provides for the time lag, the saving interval between seed time and harvest. If the seed sowing is good, this interval provides for the testing and upbuilding of character. If the seed sowing is evil, the merciful delay provides time for repentance and rectification. This time delay in the adjudication and execution of evildoers is inherent in the mercy ministry of the seven super universes. This restraint of justice by mercy proves that God is love, and that such a God of love dominates the universes and in mercy controls the fate and judgment of all his creatures. Truth. The mercy delays of time are by the mandate of the free will of the creators. There is good to be derived in the universe from this technique of patience in dealing with sinful rebels. While it is all too true that good cannot come of evil to the one who contemplates and performs evil, it is equally true that all things, including evil, potential, and manifest, work together for good to all beings who know God, love to do his will, and are ascending paradise-ward according to his eternal plan and divine purpose. But these mercy delays are not intermittable. Notwithstanding the long delay, as time is reckoned on Urantia in adjudicating the Lucifer Rebellion, we may record that during the time of effecting this revelation, the first hearing in the pending case of Gabriel versus Lucifer was held on Uversa, and soon thereafter there issued the mandate of the Ancients of Days directing that Satan be henceforth confined to prison world with Lucifer. This ends the ability of Satan to play further visits to any of the fallen worlds of Satania. Justice in a mercy-dominated universe may be slow, but it is certain. Interesting. The wisdom of delay. Of the many reasons known to me as to why Lucifer and his confederates were not sooner interned or adjudicated, I am permitted to recite the following. Mercy requires that every wrongdoer has sufficient time in which to formulate a deliberate and fully chosen attitude regarding his evil thoughts and sinful acts. Why, for some of us who follow the 17th letter of the alphabet, why is it taking forever? Oh, yeah. People were given their chance. Supreme justice is dominated by a father's love. Therefore, will justice never destroy that which mercy can save? Time to accept salvation is vouchsafed every evildoer. And if you, again, I go back to this book a lot recently. If you go back into my channel and read or listen to Pistis Sophia, Yeshua is always telling the disciples, well, no, like they got to give him time to repent and to make right. That doesn't happen overnight. Like Jesus knew that this took a period of time. So where did Yeshua get his teachings from? No affectionate father is ever precipitated in visiting punishment upon erring member of his family. Patience cannot function independently of time. While wrongdoing is always deleterious to a family, wisdom and love admonish the upright child to bear with an erring brother during the time granted by the affectionate father, in which the sinner may see the error of his way and embrace salvation. Regardless of Michael's attitude towards Lucifer, notwithstanding his being Lucifer's creator father, it was not in the providence of the creator's son to exercise summary jurisdiction over the apostate system sovereign, because he had not then completed his bestowal career, thereby obtaining unqualified sovereignty of Nebadon. The ancients of days could have immediately annihilated these rebels, but they seldom execute wrongdoers without a full hearing. In this instance, they refuse to overrule the Michael decision. It is evident that Emmanuel counseled Michael to remain aloof from the rebels and allow rebellion to pursue a natural course of self-obliteration, and the wisdom of the union of days in the time, reflection of the united wisdom of the Paradise Trinity. The faithful of days on Adentia advise the Constellation Fathers to allow the rebels free course to the end, that all sympathy for these evildoers should be the sooner uprooted in the hearts of every present and future citizen of Nerlanadak, every mortal Urantia or spirit creature. On Jerusalem, the personal representatives of the Supreme Executive, or Avantin, counseled Gabriel to foster full opportunity for every living creature to mature a delicate choice in those matters involved in the Lucifer Declaration of Liberty. The issues of rebellion have been raised. The Paradise Emergency Advisor of Gabriel portrayed that if such full and free opportunity were not given all Nerlanadak creatures, then would the Paradise quarantine against all such possible half-hearted or doubt-stricken creatures be extended in self-protection against the entire constellation. To keep open Paradise doors of ascension to the beings of Nerlanadak, it was necessary to provide the full development of rebellion and to ensure the complete determination of attitude on the part of all beings in any way concerned therewith. The Divine Minister of Salvington issued as her third independent proclamation a mandate directing that nothing be done to half cure, cowardly suppress, or otherwise hide the hideous visage of rebels and rebellion. The angelic hosts were directed to work for full disclosure and unlimited opportunity for sin expression as the quickest technique of achieving and finally cure of the plague of evil sin. An emergency council of ex-mortals consisting of mighty messengers, glorified mortals who had been personal experience with like situations together with their colleagues were organized on Jerusalem. They advised Gabriel that at least 3 times the number of beings would be laid astray if arbitrarily or summary methods of suppression were attempted. The entire Uversa corps of counselors concurred in advising Gabriel to permit the rebellion to take its full and natural course, even if it should require 1,000,000 years to wind up the consequences. Is that 1,000,000 years just about up? Maybe. Time, even in a universe of time, is relative. If a Urantia mortal of average length of time in life should commit a crime with precipitated worldwide pandemonium, and if he were apprehended, tried, and executed within 2 or 3 days of the commission of the crime, would it seem a long time to you? And yet that would be nearer a comparison with the length of Lucifer's life, even if his adjudication now begun should not be completed for 100,000 Urantia years. The relative lapse of time from the viewpoint of Uversa, where the litigation is pending, could be indicated by saying that the crime of Lucifer was being brought to trial within 2.5 seconds of its commission. From the paradise viewpoint, and the adjudication is simultaneous with the enactment. There are an equal number of reasons for not arbitrarily stopping the Lucifer Rebellion, which would be partially comprehensible to you, but which I am not permitted to narrate. I may inform you that on Uversa we teach 48 reasons for permitting evil to run the full course of its own moral bankruptcy and spiritual extinction. I doubt not there are just as many additional reasons not known to me. To all the people out there waiting and waiting, perhaps justice has already been served. We're just watching it play out. The triumph of love. Whatever the difficulties evolutionary mortals may encounter in their efforts to understand the Lucifer Rebellion, it should be clear to all reflective thinkers that the technique of dealing with the rebels is a vindication of divine love. The loving mercy extended to the rebels does seem to have involved many innocent beings in trials and tribulations, but all these distraught personalities may securely depend upon the all-wise judges to adjudicate their destinies in mercy as well as in justice. In all their dealings with intelligent beings, both the Creator Son and his Paradise Father are love dominated. It is impossible to comprehend many phases of attitude of the universal rulers towards rebels and rebellion, sin and sinners, unless it be remembered that God as a father takes precedence over all other phases of deity manifestation in all the dealings of divinity with humanity. It should also be recalled that Paradise Creator Sons are all mercy motivated. And an affectionate father of a large family chooses to show mercy to one of his children guilty of grievous wrongdoing, it may well be that the extension of mercy to this misbehaving child will work a temporary hardship upon all the other and well-behaved children. Such eventualities are inevitable. Such a risk is inseparable from the reality situation of having a loving parent and of being a member of a family group. Each member of a family profits by the righteous conduct of every other member. Likewise, must each member suffer the immediate time consequences of the misconduct of every other member. Families, groups, nations, races, worlds, systems, constellations, and universes are relationships of association which possesses individuality, and therefore does every member of any such group, large or small, reap the benefits and suffer the consequences of the right doing and the wrongdoing of all other members of the group concerned. Bingo. But one thing should be made clear: if you are made to suffer the evil consequences of the sin of some member of your family, some fellow citizen or fellow mortal, even rebellion in the system or elsewhere, no matter what you may have to endure because of the wrongdoing of your associates, fellows, or superiors, you may rest secure in the eternal assurance that such tribulations are transient afflictions. None of these fraternal consequences of misbehavior in the group can ever jeopardize your eternal prospects, or in the last degree deprive you of the divine right of paradise ascension and God obtainment. And there is compensation for these trials, delays, and disappointments, which invariably accompany the sin of rebellion. Any of the valuable repercussions of the Lucifer Rebellion, which might be named, I will only call attention to the enhanced careers of those mortal ascenders, the Jerusalem citizens, who by withstanding the sophistries of sin, placed themselves in the line for becoming future mighty messengers, fellows of my own order. Every being who stood the test of that evil episode thereby immediately advanced his administrative status and enhanced his spiritual worth. At first, a Lucifer upheaval appeared to be unmitigated calamity to the system and to the universe. Gradually, benefits began to occur. With the passing of 25,000 years of system time, 20,000 years of Urantia time, the Melchizedeks began to teach that the good resulting from Lucifer's folly had come to equal the evil incurred. The sum of evil had by the time become almost stationary, continuing to increase only on certain isolated worlds, while the beneficial repercussions continued to multiply and extend out through the universe and super universe, even to Harvona. The Melchizedeks now teach that the good resulting from the Satania rebellion is more than 1,000 times the sum of all the evil. But such an extraordinary and beneficent harvest of wrongdoing could only be brought about by the wise, divine, and merciful attitude of all of Lucifer's superiors, extending from the constellation fathers of Urantia to the universal Father on paradise. The passing of time has enhanced the consequential good to be derived from the Lucifer folly, and since the evil to be penalized was quite fully developed within a comparatively short time, it is apparent that the all-wise and far-seeing universe rulers would be certain to extend the time in which to reap increasingly beneficial results. Regardless of many additional reasons for delaying the apprehension and adjudication of the Satania rebels, this one gain would have been enough to explain why these sinners were not sooner interned and why they had not been adjudicated and destroyed. Short-sighted and time-bound mortal minds should be slow to criticize the time delays of the far-seeing and all-wise administrators of universe affairs. One era of human thinking respecting these problems consists in the idea that all evolutionary mortals on an evolving planet would choose to enter upon the paradise career if sin had not cursed the world. The ability to decline survival does not date from the times of the Lucifer Rebellion. Mortal man has always possessed the endowment of free will choice regarding the paradise career. As you ascend in the survival experience, you will broaden your universe concepts and extend your horizon of meanings and values. Thus, will you be able the better to understand why such beings as Lucifer and Satan are permitted to continue in rebellion. You will also better comprehend how ultimate, if not immediate, good can be derived from the time-limited evil. After you obtain paradise, you will really be enlightened and comforted when you listen to the seraphic philosophers discuss and explain these profound problems of universe adjustment. But even then, I doubt that you will be fully satisfied in your own minds. At least I was not, even when I had thus attained the acumen of universe philosophy. I did not achieve a full comprehension of these complexities until after I had been assigned to administrative duties in the super universe, where by actual experience I have acquired conceptual capacity adequate for the comprehension of such many-sided problems in cosmic equity and spiritual philosophy. As you ascend paradise-ward, you are increasingly learn that many problematic features of universe administration can only be comprehended subsequent to the acquirement of increased experiential capacity and to the achievement of enhanced spiritual insight. Cosmic wisdom is essential to the understanding of the cosmic situations. Presented by a mighty messenger of experimental survival in the first system rebellion in the universes of time now attached to the super universe government of Arvanton, and acting in this manner by request of Gabriel of Savington. And next paper is the spheres of light and life. Like, that's how much of the book we read, and this is how much left. And we're on page 620. Crazy. Crazy. Now I can sit normal. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I did. And we're going through this right now. We really are. We're going through this, what we want to say isn't just, and why is this taking so long? For those who know and have the eyes to see and the ears to hear what's going on in the paradigm of this reality. But not everybody's caught up to that. Not everybody's meant to be awake at this time. Not everybody's being harvested. It's just a fact. But understanding and taking components of what I just read to you, we can have a clearer picture of why. And if you don't or do believe, I think there's a big portion of that chunk that I just read that is correct. So I hope you all enjoyed. Sending each and every one of you love, light, protection, and shielding. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. I'm going to try to get a dehumidifier down here. My allergies are starting in. The leaves are going to start falling, and it's going to just get worse from there. I hate seasonal allergies, but I just moved. I didn't get all the experience of all the pollens and all the molds just yet. It's a real thing, I promise. So guys, I hope you all have a really good rest of your week. Please don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. It helps me, help you, help other people. Just what it is. And just know how divine you really are, and know what a gift it is to be here in this time and now, because you chose it, I chose it, and we're here together. So we need to start working together, understanding together, and we don't have to always agree, but to compromise so that the whole entirety comes together is the key here. So with that, guys, have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you on the next one.